Let that coffee brew, let that L burn. Meditating on my past and the lessons learned. Wanna live life, wanna find me. Wanna read the impressions of society. Let that coffee brew, let that L burn. Meditating on the past and the lessons learned. Just wanna live life, just wanna be me. Just wanna break these chains and become free.
Peace, 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 and welcome to another episode of Talks with Myrt, where we discuss mental health, emotions, spirituality, and the everyday trials of being a human being. Talks inspired by my own personal experiences and conversations I used to have with my mama. And I am y'all host, Myrt's son, and y'all can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Myrt's son, MYRTS _SON. And you can follow the podcast as well at Talks with Myrt. And if you listen to us on Apple Music, please like, view, rate, share, comment. Let us know that you're feeling the podcast and conversation. Just recently, I started to start taking steps to grow my following on Instagram because that's where I spend the most time at. And I've started getting requests on the show. So that really lets me know that people are out there taking a listen. And it made me feel good and felt like I was doing something. People hit me up asking for different topics and wanting to get my perspective and my views on them. And me, I'm only going to do stuff that I can relate to or that I have experienced. Because I claim to be no expert at anything but my life. And most of the time, I ain't even an expert at that because I'm always constantly trying to figure shit out. But that's us. That's humans. But this week, I wanted to come holler at y'all about success. I know I've had a number of definitions of success throughout my life, depending on where I was, who I was with, what was going on at the time. And I look back on my life and I've always been wrong about what success is in my life. I had went to look it up in the dictionary to see what it was. I have never done that before. And when I looked it up, it said the favorable or prosperous termination of attempts or endeavors, the accomplishment of one's goals. And it's crazy that they give you what I think is a hell of a definition, the accomplishment of one's goals, of your goals. One person, one individual, one personality, what you want it to be, what you claim it to be, what success is. It's not what society wants to make it out to be. It's not what your grandma or your mama wanted it to be or your classmates or friends. Because everybody look at the world different. Everybody has been through different things, different experiences and everything. They have different success. What people want out of life is somewhere that they've been lacking. Whatever they're lacking at in life, most of the times they want that and that's what makes them successful. But a lot of people forget the journey, what it is, that success is. It's nothing what society wanted to be. And most people, I think you got to let that shit go. You got to block out what society want because when you start trying to live for what society want and need, you're going to end up in all the wrong places. But my opinion, my experience is success has nothing to do with the accolades. It ain't got nothing to do with money, popularity, fame, or any of that shit that people and everything makes success out to be. I don't feel like it's any of that. People would sell their damn souls to look good and feel good for people who won't give anything about them. That if they fade away tomorrow, people will give two shits. And you know what I'm saying? And that's sad. So I just been sitting and thinking about that and what I get from it, everybody that I've met that I look at as successful, these are real everyday people, genuine people who are living and striving to be greater and bigger things that they are today. I've never met anybody I don't associate. It's people that I know. I ain't gonna say I don't associate because I'm cool and I'm down to earth. I'm cool with anybody. I chill with anybody just about. In that giving moment, not just go out, hey, I want to chill with this person. I don't know. I'm in my own little corner, in my own little world over here. And the people I hang with, we got to be on the same mindset, the same got similar goals and be working towards some of the same things. Those are the successful people that I know in my life, the people that I work with my music. I got certain mentors or people that I look up to. And they don't look at success as money, fame, or cars. And a lot of those people don't even have those things. Not saying that they can't get it, but those things are important to them. And I had to come down and come up with my own definition of, success. And I had said that it's overcoming and living through everything that gets you to your goal, not simply everything that is rewarded to you for obtaining your goal, And that's what my life has been. When I was in my early 20s, I used to look at success as being what society wants it to be. My biggest fear in my 20s, if somebody asked me what my biggest fear was, this is what I knew at that time. My biggest fear was being unsuccessful, was being, broke, not having cars, not having a lot of money, not being known. And at that time, I didn't know what none of that shit was. Or I felt like I knew what it was then, but I'm looking back on my life now, I didn't know what any of that was because, I had to go through the journey. There's a journey to obtaining this type of success that I'm living now. I woke up about a couple of weeks ago. I've been supposed to have been coming out here to do this podcast. I had it written down and everything that I wanted to hit on, but I hadn't got out here and done it yet. But I had woke up and I was talking to my son. He 18 and he looks at life like that right now, as having a lot of money and having a lot of cars and fame and women, and these things will make him feel successful. And I was out here talking to him and I was like, man, I'm successful, Avery. I said, damn, I'm successful. And it dawned on me like, damn, I really am. And it is because everything that I wanted to be, I went through and fought through to get there. My reward is my family, the things that I have that I'm working for, just being this better man with a peace of mind and a piece of clarity and a good soul. I can go out here and accomplish anything that I wanted to do. The things that I set out to be or that I sucked at in my 20s are everything that I am now. And I always come back to some of the same points y'all hear me talk on in multiple episodes because that's my life. It always comes back to women. That's the number one thing. I always wanted marriage. I never knew, me being married would be what makes me successful. But to me, that is what is. I always heard when I was in my 20s that my dad had multiple women. He had multiple kids. And, I didn't want to be that guy. I felt like I was becoming that guy at one point because I was out here with different women. I knew in the back of my mind that I wanted to be this married guy. And here I am today, that married, faithful guy that I'm very, very proud of. When it came to finances and money, I ain't rich by no means, but, I'm comfortable as hell. I don't want for anything. I don't have to go out here and, sell my soul to get these millions or to try to get all this money. I've developed, which I didn't have a long time ago, as a journey to get here, but I've developed a work habit and passions to work for that's gonna help bring me the finances and the wealth that I want to bring. This podcast being one of them. Times is switching, and if you don't have anything to offer to the world, to offer to the next generation, or to give to hungry souls, then to me, it's kind of like what are you doing? You kind of like, I won't say irrelevant because everyone matters. Everybody plays a part in this thing called life. You learn something from everybody. But in my world, I just feel like if you're going to be here, you have to be giving back in some type of way. Everybody has some part of their life that is worth something. And when you have something that's worth something, that is like a foundation of success. Because a lot of people don't find that thing that they're looking for, or that thing that they feel like is going to get them to, where they want to be. And if you have something that you can offer to the world, like, do it, give it, mold it, redefine it, figure out what it is, and and spread that shit to people, because that's what's gonna be what take you to higher places. I've seen people with a lot of money, I've on TV in real life, but they be miserable as hell, and they're miserable because that's the only thing that matters to them. You know what I'm saying? They don't look at the beautiful things and part of life. It's crazy because I'm out here recording my podcast in my garage, and it's the first time I've done it at this time, and I'm hearing the birds chirping and everything. It is so beautiful. I don't know if y'all be able to hear it. I hear it when I play this back, but it's a sense of peace going on right now. But these people that I've known and that I've seen, they have this money, these cars, and surrounded by a lot of people, but they empty on the inside because they've worked, but they don't have anything, worth. They've worked, but they don't have anything worth giving back, or they haven't figured out what to do with this thing that they have, these accomplishments, these things that they have in their life. Like, what did they gain from them? What did they grow from them? That part of my definition where I say success is overcoming and living through everything that gets you to your goal. Because when you're trying to accomplish some shit, it's hard. And I be trying to tell my son this, like, it's like the universe constantly tests you. Every time he have a downfall, I be telling him, it's a test. Like, you got to pass the test. You can't quit. You can't give up on yourself. You got to keep on going for the goal. It's work. Everything that you want to have, or that you truly want to last in this life, this shit takes work. Like, you got to work for it. And I worked like hell through my 20s to get to this peace of mind that I have now, and this peace or this sense of clarity that I have on what means the most to me, that I can go out here and to contribute the things that's in my life, my everyday, my wife, my family. It be this is shit that I always wanted. To me, that's what success is. You know what I'm saying? Things that you wanted and what you work towards to get, that is fulfilling. This is something that I have in this life and in this world that I can give to, that I know, especially my babies, all three of them. Everything that I give to them that I've learned over my life, I try to give it to them. So it's going to last them. They're going to have something, that they can give to their kids, or give to their generation, or give to somebody that's going to go on. I feel like that's one of the most important duties that I can do as a father, or that I can have as a father, is to make sure that I'm looking out for more than myself. I always relate back to chess. The King Piece has so much to look out for, and I have a lot to look out for, and I have a lot that I'm building. And to me, to get to this point to where I can do it has been my successful point. Another thing I always talk about is how I was broke and I was poor. I was bouncing job to job. I was taking any type of jobs, just trying to get money, feeling like money was what was gonna make me happy or make my life easy. But it took a whole depression for me to sit my ass down and be like, money don't mean anything. If you ain't got the inside of you correct, no matter how much money you got, if you ain't feeling good, or feeling like you've overcome, or feeling like just feeling good on the inside, not feeling empty, feeling like you have something to offer to more than just yourself. I always say when I'm talking to my homies, it's cool for those people who live selfishly, who don't give back to anything. Everybody can choose what they want to do with their life. But to me, I just feel like there's something that's going to always be missing there. So even though you do have the money, the cars, the women, you're surrounded by all these people, how do you feel on the inside, though? It go back to what I said earlier. It's like, if something happens to you, or all these things that you have go bye-bye, who going to be there with you? Who going to be there with you when you ass out and ain't got nothing? And I still have the same people around me now that I had around me when I was ass out and had nothing. So they've seen the growth. Those are the people that matter to me. Those are the people that I aim to give to, that I aim to feed. And I'm just sitting here thinking about it as well. In my when I was in my 20s and I was worried about being unsuccessful, not fully really knowing what it is and the scope of it is like now when I look at these people around me, or not around me, but the people I see in the media, or people who claim to have this fame and this success, is everything that I don't want. I don't want to be a slave to the things that society makes out to be popular. If that makes sense. Like money, these things. Like money is one of the biggest things. It's like it's God and it's the devil. Like it's both of them. It's good and the bad. It's the dark and the light. And I say that because I want money, but I ain't finna go out here and slave for money. I have a deep understanding that that shit is just paper. It is a currency and a value that is made up by man. That shit can be taken away at any moment. So I don't want to go out here and, slave myself for it, or, kill myself over it. It ain't that deep to me. But I do know and have an understanding that that shit is needed in this life. It is needed to play the game that everybody wants to play, far as currency and money and needing this to live and survive. So I do want to have an abundance of it. And I want to have an abundance of it for my children. So they ain't never got to go through the same stresses and the type of things that I went through in my 20s, or to even live like a person that's out here living just for money. I ain't got nothing against nobody that's chasing a bag. Every time I see somebody that I know personally, or, I see on my Facebook that I may have grew up with and they talking about chasing a bag, I just be hoping that they chasing a bag for, all the right reasons, or hoping that they know that this bag don't really mean shit. It's good, it's gonna feed your family for the time being, but it ain't everything. When you start sacrificing your body and sacrificing your mind and going into this dark place over lack of money or trying to get money to appease others, I just, I drop out the race at that point. I told you this one time in my depression, when I was living out my car, and I told you they were threatening to come pick my car up, and bill collectors calling me and all these threats and shit. I ain't had no money to pay these jokers, but I started worrying about having that money to pay them more than I was worrying about the things I was depressed about, and that's a problem. Your mental health is at risk. You got to get rid of that. You can't live like that. So I work and build for feeding my soul and feeding my kids' soul and their minds, and letting them know the important things in this life. To me, that's success. And I was telling my son, I try to get away from that step word. I'll be telling him that, money is cool, but that shit ain't everything. Like, you really got to look at and value the people that's in your life, that's loving you and living with you on a regular basis. That's success to me. When you doing good by them, and you're feeling good eternally, when you can look yourself in the mirror and not feel no kind of way about yourself, look yourself in the eye and not feel no kind of way, and knowing that you're working towards something. The work that you put in to get that feeling and to get to that higher place mentally and spiritually, it's the work that makes you successful. So me doing all the work to get to a better place, once I get there and they give me a trophy for it, I'm cool with the trophy. But I know I'm successful not because they giving me the trophy, but because I put in the work by myself to get to that point. For instance, this is my 10th episode of the podcast, and it should be a lot more, but I'm super damn excited about reaching a 10th episode. To me, I'm being consistent, something that I've never been consistent in my life. I've been consistent in doing all the wrong things, all the things I found myself in crazy situations or difficult situations, living wild. But I was consistent at that, but doing all the right things, being consistent, like growing this podcast. Next episode, I'm gonna have my brother, my OG Bay Harris, on the episode to celebrate. But I really wanted to get this one off my chest. I was supposed to have him on here for my 10th. But guys, I am super damn excited, to be on this journey, this podcast journey. And, it's been a blessing. I've been learning from myself, learning things from myself, talking to you guys, um, talking to myself out here when I come out here and do these episodes, just being consistent. I told you things, and discipline. Discipline. There's been a couple episodes where I just ain't feel like coming out here doing it. But I needed to get the word out. I just felt like it had to get off me, but I just didn't feel like doing it. This is one of them episodes. I had been procrastinating to do this episode for some time now. Because I had this thing, like I wanted the 10th episode to be, really big. But, the 11th episode is going to be really big, just like the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th, because it is something that I'm doing that I want to do, going back to defining my own success. Doing this podcast and doing my music, like especially the music, y'all. If y'all haven't checked my music out yet, please go check it out. It's Myrt, son. You can, whatever you listen to, you can put it in. But I'm giving my heart and my soul in that as well. But I'm approaching a 4th album and 2 years in, and that's super exciting to me. That's consistent and that's success, because I've never been that in my life before. So what I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to go ahead and end with this one. I ain't really have a lot to say. I just really wanted to let people know out there that listen and that follow me that, you ain't got to get caught up in what anybody wants success to be. And when I say anybody, I mean anybody, because there's a point in life where you have to give no fucks about anybody's opinion and anybody's feelings, because you are the one who has to live this life. You're the one who has to go through the experiences you go through. You're the one who has to go through the emotions you go through, the battles on the inside that you have, physically, emotionally, and mentally, spiritually. All these things that you go through, you're the one who has to go through them. So at some point in time, you're going to get to where it is where nobody else opinions and feelings matter, and you got to go out here and do what's best for you. Success is what you make it. Anything that you struggle with, the journey to overcome, the very fact that you're going through it, that you're on that journey, is successful, because there's a lot of people that die, and there's a lot of people that give up on themselves and give up on their dreams before they even get to see it move. And clap for yourself and congratulate yourself that you are, on a journey to get better and to be where you want to be. The journey is what makes you successful, because I'm learning now, and it just came to me as I'm sitting here talking to y'all that, success doesn't stop, because once you get to where you want to be, you're going to realize that you want to keep going, so the journey continues. So it's not reaching a certain level or a certain point of success. Success is growth. When you're constantly working on yourself, you're constantly getting better. It's crazy. That's why I do these episodes. I've been trying to figure out the right words to say to get it off, because I didn't write it down. I've been trying to find the correct thing to say what success is, and success is the growth. It's the growth. It's something that doesn't stop. As long as you're continually pushing forward and you're continually working on yourself, then you are constantly being successful. It doesn't have to be the money. It ain't got to be the fame. It ain't got to be the riches, the women, the likes, the followers, none of that. It's how you feel about yourself and how you're working on yourself. But that's my little outtake and my look on success. I hope everybody out there that's listening got something from it. I feel like I kind of went in a circle to come back, but I hope y'all got it. That's the main part, because I got it for myself. Is because these words that I hear when I play these back, or people quote back to me, that when they hear it, I live by these words. These are my words. These are come straight from me. So these are things I have to tell myself as well. As long as I'm constantly growing, I'm successful. I appreciate any accolades, but the accolade for me, the biggest thing for me, is that I'm on a journey and I'm doing well at it. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to anybody who tuned in and listened to this podcast. This is my 10th episode. I'm super excited. I have a lot of people listening and downloading. my goal, my personal goal, is to get to 1 million. And I do that one listener, one follower at a time. I don't care if that takes 5 years, 10 years, 15, to get to 1 million. That's a whole journey. And a lot of people that I feel like I've touched, or a lot of people that might have got some clarity at some type, on their journey. I felt like I'm doing my part, because that's why I do this. It's for my own understanding and my own healing, and for anybody else to chime in as they get on their journey as well. But next episode, I got OG Bay Harris coming. It's be my first guest on the show. But thank you again. It's all about growth. That is your success. Any change that you want to see in this life, it begins with self. Believe in yourself. Be patient with yourself. And watch self blossom. I am Myrt son, and I'll speak to y'all soon. Peace.
Let that coffee brew, let that L burn. Meditating on my past and the lessons learned. Wanna live life, wanna find me. Wanna rid the impressions of society. Let that coffee brew, let that L burn. Meditating on the past and the lessons learned. Just wanna live life, just wanna be me. Just wanna break these chains and become free.